Welcome back, everyone. Garland here, bringing you another Neverwinter video. Now, at first, I didn't really want to cover this topic or get involved in any way. However, after numerous requests from a ton of people, I decided I might as well give my thoughts on it. Most people aren't going to like this video. I'll be taking a different approach. I want to give you guys the facts and information. There have been a lot of opinions, anger, frustration, outrage, and misinformation amongst the community. I will try to be as rational and logical as I can, but I may slip some passion in there. Today, of course, if you haven't guessed by now, we will be talking about the recent bug on console that was being exploited. The hunting exploit, per se. Now, this video is going to be on the longer end of things, so sit down, grab your coffee, relax, and enjoy the video. Now, I've watched fellow content creators Nova and the Assist Man's videos, and they have a lot of valid points, but I can't agree with everything they have said. I've read countless posts, Discord messages, official forum messages, direct messages to me, tweets, everything. I've read it all. Let's start at the beginning. When Mod 14 Ravenloft hit preview, it was discovered that you could run the Dire Fang Wanted poster unlimited times. This was reported but never fixed and was actually on the live servers for the Mod 14 PC launch. It was then nerfed in the first major content patch pushed on PC. Now, we aren't really sure when it was first discovered or who even discovered it, but another bug was found by being able to use unlimited Taroka cards during your hunts. This was reported and unfortunately wasn't fixed on PC for several weeks down the road. The biggest yikes was that Mod 14 was then released on console with the same bug active. Now, I'm not sure when Cryptic knew about the bug itself, but I'm assuming it was already too late and the builds were already sent out to Sony and Microsoft for the Mod 14 release. It did get patched on PC, however, and our friends over at Neverwinter Uncensored released an article about the whole mess. Now, normally they don't do this so soon as console was still in play. This gave the console community information about the bug and the process to exploit it. Usually they won't publish an article until it's been fixed on all platforms. So I'm not sure why they pushed this article out so fast. Now, instead of only a handful of console players even knowing about the bug, hundreds if not thousands found out about it. Zone chat was nothing more than looking for fast hunts, or looking for speed hunts, etc. Now, I'm not blaming Neverwinter Uncensored. They are free to do as they please. But it's safe to assume that this is what sparked the bug in mass amounts. Shortly after it was fixed on PC, community manager Julia put out a statement on September 12th. Here's a picture of it for you guys. Now, I'm not sure if she was told to release this statement or if she did this solely on her own. I'm not sure if it's just her inexperience in the role of community manager or what. But posting a threatening message of banning accounts is a surefire way to piss off the community. Especially lately, when the company is performing so poorly. The next day, September 13th, console was actually hotfixed and the hunt bug had been patched. Or so they thought. It was shortly after that a new way had been discovered and that the bug still actually worked. Again, later that night, Cryptic hotfixed the problem for a second time. Terramok posted in Discord the following message. As funny as it may be, there was apparently still a way to exploit, so we implemented an additional approach that our code wizards managed to figure out how to apply and hotfix content. This is referring to the second time that they had to patch it in one day. I'm sorry, Mally, but to my knowledge, as of September 17th and the filming of this video, there is still a way to exploit the bug. So GG for the code wizards, I guess. Now, while all this was going on, and since Julia posted that message on the official message boards, the community had nothing but outrage. They can't do this to us. This is unfair. If they want to lose 90% of their console population, then go for it. I've heard and read all the messages. So there are basically three types of people taking stances on this argument or event, whatever you would like to call it. You have the White Knights sucking the e-peen in the Neverwinter official Discord saying, ban them all, ban everyone, get rid of all the cheaters. You have the people on the other side of the fence that think any sort of ban is unfair. Then you have the people that just don't care either way, or think that the bug was a waste of time in the first place, as it wasn't even game breaking. So let's take a moment and analyze each of these arguments. First and foremost, let's go with the people that didn't think this was that big of a deal. Well, simply put, you're wrong. This bug was a lot bigger than most people think. It wouldn't really affect the major whales of the game, or anyone that has buttloads of money already. But it's the little guy, or the casual player, which already brings 75% of the population into question, that would take advantage of this. If you were unaware of the bug or what it even did, let's just say you can make anywhere from 400,000 to 450,000 rough AD per hour. Now take little Timmy, who runs 3 accounts at once. That's 1.5 million rough AD per hour rounded up. Let's just say he runs 4 accounts. Hell, let's say he has 5 accounts running at one time. Sure, it's rough Astral Diamond, and with the recent changes, you can only refine 100,000 a day. Who cares, right? Wrong. Money is money. Even if you don't get it instantly, you will get that AD over a time span. So anyone with a brain can see the severity of this bug. Let's move on to those amazing, awesome White Knights, or corporate slaves, or basically whatever you want to call them. They're the ones you'll find in the Neverwinter Discord doing nothing but sucking that company e-peen. You know who you are. They say, ban everyone, get rid of all of them, anyone who did it deserves punishment, blah 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 blah. Now I can see their point. I'm a firm believer in if you break the rules and get caught, then you deserve punishment. However, in this case, the entire game is broke and riddled with bugs. The biggest example I could give is the peeking in a chest key bug. It was in the game for how long? Then all of a sudden the developers decided to deem it a bug and fixed it. So with their White Knight logic, anyone that even played during that time frame would be eligible for punishment. Name me one person who didn't peek inside a chest, and if they didn't like what they saw, didn't burn a key to take that chest. Go ahead, I'll wait. Name me one. And if you say you never did it, you're lying. Get the freak out of my face. Finally, we have the community itself. The ones who say it's unfair. That no one deserves punishment for something that's been in the game for this long. Well, I do agree, but I also disagree at the same time. The game is full of bugs. And by full, I mean I can make a 8-hour special and literally list every bug in the game. As of filming this video, I haven't even heard of any mass bannings just yet. A few people got 3-day suspensions, and a select few got perma bans, such as Gavscar Gaming. Is that his name? I'm not sure. I don't know him personally. I cannot provide you guys with any proof. I'm not 100% sure this actually even happened. But that is what the rumor mill has spread thus far. However, Gavscar Gaming, I'm pretty sure he actually put a video out on YouTube on the topic and showed exactly how to do it in a guide form or a tutorial form. Yeah, real smart there, buddy. If you're silly enough to do something like that, then you deserve to get punished. Have you been banned? Suspended? Do you know anyone that has been banned or suspended yet? I'm curious. Leave me a comment below and tell me about it. Because I've come to the conclusion that what Julia said was just a scare tactic to try to force people to actually stop using the exploit until they could actually get the fix in game. Do you really think they would have a mass banning on console? The highest population platform of their game? No player base equals no revenue equals no game. It would be a horrible business decision to actually do something of that nature. However, this is the part of the video people aren't going to like. Let's actually go over the terms of service. On your screen now is going to be section 15, subsection K and L is what we are going to be looking at. Cheat or utilize unauthorized exploits in connection with the game. Using or exploiting any bugs, errors, or design flaws to obtain unauthorized access to the service or to gain an unfair advantage over other players. Now, one of the major arguments is this subsection here, L, the second part of it, to gain an unfair advantage over other players. The argument that a lot of people are bringing to the table is that since everyone had access to it, it isn't considered an unfair advantage. Everyone had ample amounts of opportunity to know what the bug was and then exploit it if they chose to. So, unfortunately, I have to agree, but then again, disagree. It is still an unfair advantage because it is a bug in the game. If you chose to exploit it, that's your own prerogative. Just because little Timmy didn't know about it, it's still an unfair advantage. Section 15, subsection 3. We may take any actions and impose any penalties we deem necessary to discourage and punish any violation of these terms. Basically saying they are going to punish you based upon the terms that they have written that you agreed to. Let's move on to section 26, specifically section 26 subsection 1 and 26 subsection 2. Now, subsection 1, you can clearly see is all capital letters, okay? For any reason, we may suspend, terminate, modify, block access to, or delete the service or any account. Just that first opening statement alone says everything that you need to know. Just about every multiplayer game in existence has this specific clause in their terms of service. This essentially says that no matter what, for no reason whatsoever, they can not only suspend your account or terminate, aka permanently ban your account. Period, guys. They do not need a reason. They could simply watch one of my videos, not agree with what I say, and permanently ban or terminate my account. And there's nothing I can do about it legally. You guys have to understand that. Every single game in existence, for the most part, let's say 99%, because there is that 1% that might actually not have this clause, but 99% of all games have this clause or a variation of this clause in their terms of service, which you agree to upon playing any game at any time, for that matter. Let me read it again so it sinks into some of your guys' heads here. For any reason, we may suspend, terminate, modify, block access to, or delete the service or any account. Period. You can read the rest of that claim if you want. It says about notification and when they have to notify you, etc., etc., etc. But you guys get the point. Whether this bug is in the game, whether you personally exploited the bug, it doesn't matter ultimately. They can ban you justifiably for any reason. You could simply go and say, hey, Thomas Foss, I don't like your haircut. Well, you know what? He can literally go to the QA department and have your account terminated. They don't have to have a reason legally. Now, here's the second part of this, is the sheer fact that most of the companies have this in their terms of service, this clause, just to protect themselves. No company in their right mind actually enforces most of the clauses in their terms of service unless they deem it necessary to do so. I mean, it's just bad business practice, right? You're not going to walk around and just ban people off your game, especially free-to-play titles that relies on its population for its revenue values. However, like I said, this is in there legally. You agree to it, period. There's no argument, right? Now, Section 26, subsection 2, for user violations, we may, at our option, issue warnings, temporary suspensions, and permanent terminations of accounts. We retain the sole discretion as to when and how to impose warnings, penalties, and or disciplinary actions. That basically just says that they could do it anytime, without notification, whenever they want, for whatever reasons they want. So there it is, guys. I mean, it's in plain black and white. Now, like I said, do you agree with it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you agree with it or not, because the clause is legally bound in their contract, which you technically agree to when you play the game. So there's no, there's no argument. It's like I said, in 99% of all terms of service or and license agreements or whatever the case may be. It's there for the company legally to defend themselves in case of any issues arise. So that's just the way it is. You don't have to agree with it. The only way to avoid it is to not play the game, period. Finally, to conclude this long-ass video, let's be honest. Neverwinter is very buggy, broken, and unpopulated game these days. For Cryptic to actually take any sort of logical action in saying they could ban anyone would be immoral on their part. Like I previously said, most companies have that clause just in case as a legal reason to go back on. But most companies do not actually enforce that said clause unless they absolutely deem it necessary. But especially for a free-to-play game that thrives on its population. And when you look at Cryptic and the low population numbers, I mean, it would just totally blow my mind to have some kind of super ban wave, especially on console being the most populated platforms. They would literally just destroy the game. Like I mentioned before in this video, what about all the previous bugs in the game? Peeking in chests, the Saha balls, unlimited enchanted keys that actually cost Cryptic money. The list goes on and on throughout the past years. How many people have actually been permanently banned from all of the previous bugs? A select few. For them to have a mass banning wave, especially on console, as I mentioned, would be completely ludicrous. It would finally put the last nail on the coffin and would kill their game. So guys, seriously, calm down already. Let's just move on and wait for the next bug. The next content mod to come out. Now, literally, that's all I'm going to say about this. I am not going to comment anymore regarding this. If you want to leave a comment below, we can have a rational discussion on it. I think I've gone over everything that I wanted to go over in a rational manner. Now, my personal opinion, I did mention a few. However, I don't want to go into an elaborate depth about my personal opinion on this. It's a very touchy subject, especially if you want to reference the video I put out about passion, anger, and frustration. Cryptic has been slowly going downhill, whether anybody acknowledges that, whether anyone in the company wants to admit that. It's no secret that the game has significantly downgraded from where it previously was. Like I said, there's so many bugs and broken features in the game itself that you can't justifiably have some sort of mass ban wave on basically the largest population in your game. I mean, PC still does exist, but the PC population doesn't even come close to what the population is on Xbox or PS4. So for Neverwinter to continue and to either grow or whatever the outcome is for this game, it would just be immorally wrong. Even if they wanted to make a point, it wouldn't make sense. Because, like I said, there have been so many previous bugs in the past that were game breaking that people did exploit. I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, guys. At the same time, I am a company man myself. Like I said earlier in the video, I do believe that if you cheat in a game, that you are, to be eligible for punishment if you get caught using exploits, I am a firm believer in that. However, at the same time, when you have a game that is so broken and riddled with bugs, you can't justifiably ban half of your population for using something that wasn't intended in the first place. The biggest thing I could tell Cryptic is, just fix it, move on. Anyone that was obviously caught doing it, or as, Huggy Bear Gaming put out a freaking guide and tutorial on it, I mean, yeah, a select few people can be either permanently banned or suspended, etc., at the discretion of the company. But remember, guys, at the same time, Cryptic can. They can, if they want to, legally ban everyone. Ban everyone. It doesn't matter. Ban everyone. Kill the game. Let's move on to Magic the Gathering Online, I guess, at this point. That's all I have to say. Leave me a comment below. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.